Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another top five, or this might be the first top five that I made. I'm not 100% sure yet. If it's not, well, then welcome back to the second top five. In case you don't know, this is where instead of doing a top 10, because maybe I don't have enough material to do a top 10, I only do a top five, obviously. But here's the thing. With 2017 spring season coming around very fast, we're almost there. Like, literally, we have less than 3 weeks to go. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out, a lot of good stuff, but at the same time, there's stuff that's really intrigued me, and I wanted to do a top five because my friend and subscriber Sandy asked me, hey, can you do a top 10? But I only found really five that I really think are interesting. That does not mean, by the way, I'm going to have another video coming out probably in a few weeks where I'll talk about the stuff I plan on reviewing, which is going to be several, shows in general. So that does not mean just because you don't see a show on here doesn't mean I'm not going to review it coming out. It just means that it's not intrigued me enough to say I want to review it hands down or anything like that right now. More so, I just don't care about it yet, right now at this moment. These shows right here on my list, I obviously really care for. Anyways, let's start off with the first one, Boku no Hero Academia second season. I loved Boku no Hero Academia, the first season. My Hero Academia was an amazing show to me. I thought it was so cool, had so much good action, had a really nice story. In many ways, I know it's a shonen series, but at the same time, it didn't feel like your typical shonen series, which was really kind of cool. And what they did use with the typical stuff, like, the whole main character getting weak at the first, but then all of a sudden becoming stronger, was done in a very fun way because of the fact that, everyone has, special powers and are, superheroes, which appeals to me because I love superheroes. I think that is one of the essences of my childhood with superheroes and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this. I cannot wait for this. It looks so promising, and hopefully we'll get more than a few episodes. Hopefully, I've been hearing we're going to get 2 parts to it, so it's going to be 24 episodes. I hope that's the case. Anyways, next one we're going on to is Recreators. Now, Recreators is by the studio known as Troika, which I've never heard before. Maybe someone could tell me in the comments if you heard of this group before, but it sounds from Mal very interesting, and it really intrigues me with some of the art. It looks really nice. I don't know too much about it because honestly, there really isn't too much to be told. There's a short synopsis, which I'll read really fast to you. Humans have created many stories: joy, sadness, anger, deep emotion. Stories shake our emotions and fascinate us. However, they're only thoughts of bystanders. But what if the characters in the story had intentions? To them, are we godlike existences for bringing their story into the world? Our world has changed. Mete out punishment upon the realm of the gods and Recreators. Everyone becomes a creator. Now, that sounds amazing to me. As a writer, I've always thought I've always had an idea of making stories where people have actually almost a third person / breaking the fourth wall type concept where they see that the world outside is a real thing and they're trying to break their way through. There's been a lot of different shows in terms of media that have actually done something like this before, and it sounds really cool for an anime because I'm like, what type of creators are they going to be? Are they going to be people that make fantasy stuff? Are they going to make sci-fi stuff, etc.? It sounds awesome. I'm really stoked for this. I think it's going to be something really special. Hopefully, when the PVs drop for it, we'll say that it's actually something worthwhile to watch. If not, well, then that kind of sucks because I'll be like, oh man, it's that sucks in general. But I'm gonna be fruitful, thinking that this will be a good show. Bottom line. Anyways, moving on to number 3. Sakurada Reset. Now, this is done by David Production, which, by the way, if you know David Production, they make JoJo. And to me now, because I'm a huge diehard fan of JoJo, I've actually seen some of the other works, or at least seen trailers of some of the other works. And guess what? I kind of dig their style. I like how they make some really interesting anime, to be sure. From what this is on Mal, I'm not going to read the whole synopsis because the synopsis is pretty damn long, but I'll talk about briefly. Apparently, this is a mystery, superpower, supernatural school type show. And apparently this world, this town, Sakurada, they're actually able to use powers. Namely, a group of people are in a club that use specific powers. One is able to reset the world 3 days prior, and everyone forgets everything that happened except for one person, which is the other person's power. He's able to remember everything that happened within 3 days. So it kind of sounds almost like Steins Gate type story. So Steins Gate meets ReZero in many ways in my mind. And I'm okay with that. That sounds pretty cool. Hopefully this show, is based on a light novel series. So, I'm looking forward to reading that if it ever comes out in America. Chances are, depending on how the anime does, obviously, is depending on if we get the light novel in America. But if it doesn't come out, well, that sucks, but I hope it does because it just sounds like a really cool story in general. So I'm looking forward, definitely, to animation. Now, moving on to number 4. Attack on Titan Season 2. I love Attack on Titan. I don't care how much people say it's a mainstream show, it's got a lot of flaws, etc. I don't really care. I think that Attack on Titan did something that was very different. I mean, we've had, humans versus giant robots, humans versus aliens, humans versus creatures, etc. We never had humans versus humans in the sense of this, where these are giant humans eating other humans, and what reason? Nothing. They're almost invincible to regular attacks, and you have to kill them in certain ways to actually destroy them. They disappear when they're killed and executed. This is a weird show, and it's a weird premise, but it's always been an interesting one. I mean, I've read the light novels for it, which is really cool. I really recommend reading some of the light novels for it, by the way, because they really kind of give you some more background history on how humanity had to struggle in the very beginning of trying to how to figure out how to fight these things. Like even talks about like the beginning of the movement gear, etc. But I think that this show has always been something that's been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it's something that I know is probably not going to appeal to everyone, obviously, because people have some issues with it because it's mainstream, etc. But if you give it a chance, I think that Attack on Titan has a way of doing things that always make the show fun and entertaining, even despite some of the issues with the storytelling and some of the characters, etc. It still is a fun ride to be sure. Anyways, I will be bringing you reviews of this every week. Definitely when it comes out, you'll see me doing reviews for it, and I'll be trying to get them up as first as I can. I'm gonna try to get them out like ASAP because I want people to watch my reviews for that. Because I want people to see what I think of the second season, honestly. Because I've already seen a whole bunch of people have different opinions on it, and I'm like, is that really fair when the show hasn't even come out yet? Apparently, it's gonna be slightly different from the manga, so I'm curious on how they're gonna adapt it. Because I actually have read some of the manga, so I'm not caught up with everything in the manga, but I do know some of the events that happened past the anime, so I'm very curious on what they're gonna do with that. Anyways, moving on to the last really kind of, we'll say iffy top 5 for this list, but I put it on because I'll explain it when I get there. So number 5, Berserk. And I know people, you're like, what? Why not Clockwork Planet, or why not something else? But why Berserk second season of 2017? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? I'm a huge fan of Berserk. I am a huge diehard fan of Berserk, and I've always liked Berserk. I know Berserk, especially 2016, was atrocious sometimes. It had some horrible animation, it had some horrible CGI, but there were times where there's something that stood beyond that, where if you enjoyed the manga, if you enjoyed I think just the world of Berserk, you forgave a lot of those issues because you just like, oh, hey, we're getting Berserk in some form, which is not something we get all the time because obviously Berserk had a huge amount of time between the movies and now the series. From what I hear, this is only from rumors and stuff like that, I hear that they're really changing up a lot of stuff with the second part because of feedback from people, not only in America, but in Japan also, because, obviously they care more about what people in Japan say for an anime, but they've been getting a lot of feedback, and I'm very curious if they took that feedback and actually rolled anything different with it. Now, these are not confirmed things, by the way. I'm not going to say, like, oh, you can look here. No, I'm not. These are not confirmed things. These are things I've heard from various people that I know that are huge diehard fans of Berserk also. But even with the Blu-ray, for example, they redid a lot of the art just for the Blu-ray release. So I'm thinking that most likely Berserk 2017 will look a lot better and will have some nicer animation to it overall. So I am looking forward to it. It might not be on everyone's top things to look out for the spring season, but to me, this is definitely going to be one of the ones that I really do hope will be the testament to something that started off kind of weak but gets stronger toward the end. Anyways, and by the way, I forgot to mention, it's gonna have Berserk armor. Now, if they fuck the Berserk armor in this up, I'll drop the series and I'll tell you flat out. Like, I can reviewing every episode, and if they show the Berserk armor at the very end and they fuck that up somehow, I'm done with the show. I won't review any more of it because I love the Berserk armor stuff. That's one of my favorite parts of Berserk in general. So you guys better not mess this up. I'm just saying. Anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoy this top 5. I will talk to you later. Have a great, blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.